All right, we are back. There were some issues with the connection, and we are now going to be going into the game between Zhanhun and XiaoShuai. This is game 4, Citadel. XiaoShuai 1 game away from taking it. But Zhanhun, he's a fighter, man. I don't think he's going to go down without a fight. But so far, his gateway opener is it's not working. The only time that it's worked, or only time he's had success, is when he's gotten away with his 12 Nexus. And I'm thinking maybe we need to go Forge, because the Zealots are not doing much at all.
Yeah, I agree with you, Nyoken. And I think before we had cut out there, we had seen where the trajectory was going. But since we're going to start over, I won't even say anything so that in case folks missed it right before it cut out. But I'm with you, Nyoken. I think Zhanhun should just try and do something a little bit different. At least not the gateway, because the guy makes 4 lings every single game, no matter what. So you can't really get anything done, basically.
Yeah, and he doesn't care. Like, if you send a Zealot, that's nice, man, I'm running by. We saw him do it on Apocalypse, and those lings lasted for, like, what was it? Almost 5 minutes? I mean, it was crazy how long they lasted. The Zealot counterattack did a lot of damage, but the double Stargate, which was kind of an interesting follow-up, just didn't work out. So Zhanhun needs to come up with something special here. It is his pick. He did pick Citadel. I think we're waiting to get into... Okay, so of course we were casting it live using the Chinese stream, but we have gotten the replay, so Zero's going to be casting it this time, so there should be no cutouts anymore. At least I'm hoping no cutouts. Alright, we are ready, so let's get into game 4. See if XiaoShuai can close it out right here, or if Zhanhun brings it back to 2-2. Okay, so we do have Mr. Zhanhun in the top right, and meanwhile in the bottom right, we do have our Zerg. It is XiaoShuai.
Yeah, so it's just interesting to see how will the players decide to open up. What will they do? Zhanhun's down a game, so is Gate the right approach? And I think that's maybe the question he may be asking himself as well.
Well, you have the forward pylon, and he has sent the probe back, and we've seen this before. This is generally like 12 Nexus or Forge, but as I say that, there goes the probe. You know, you still can't go 9-gate like this on certain maps where you can come back and mine, and there it is, 9-gate coming down. And unfortunately for him, probe's going to go over to the left side, which means once again, it's going to be a last scout, and as expected, there's the overpool. Well, actually, maybe it's not a last scout. He intercepts top middle, sees there's no overlord there. Probably going to hook around down to bottom right, so now it's going to be like I guess a 1.5 scout.
Interesting. And we see the second gate going down, Nyoken. So it was a 9 gate and then an 11 gate, if I'm not mistaken. So it's interesting, though. Did you see his scouting pattern? He scouted the top middle, right? To see, okay, is the overlord coming? That makes sense. But I do wonder, would he have continued with the second gate if the overlord was there? I think he made a decision here to say, okay, no overlord. He does not have the first scout. Now let me go 2-gate. So I think it was like a very calculated reasoning for him to do 2-gate.
I think so also, because we saw, oh my gosh, that was clearly a misstep right there, because if you can delay the hatchery when you're 2-gating, that's a massive win for you. You do not want to have extra larva available for the Zerg. You do not want to have them have the ability to put down Sunken ASAP. But still, this is going to be a really tough hold for Zerg, because Zerg's still in the dark. Zerg has no idea what this is. Like, he's going to see a Zealot, but there's nothing here that says, like, oh, this was a 2-gate. He intercepts the first Zealot, but this looks like what we saw in Apocalypse.
And he still does not have the scout yet, so he's playing blind. He already made the third hatch. I mean, it's fine, but I feel like at this point in the game, if Zerg does not know, it becomes really difficult to do this. He's still scouting cross map. Now he's going to see it, but I wonder, and he's not even going to see it. He's sending the lings back, so he's just assuming that now that he sees 2 zealots, obviously he'll know. But this is a very tough situation for Zerg now.
Yeah, Zerg is, I don't want to say he's dead, but he's in trouble. He's in big time trouble. It's also Citadel, where there's a ramp between the natural and the main base, and Probe Zealot on a ramp is killer. There's a reason that you see it on being used almost on any map like retro like that. It's just so good to defend attacks. Now that was a really good surround. Gets the probe. Okay, this is the start of something for the Lings, but there's 5 zealots. There's 3 here and 2 at the natural.
Yeah, and XiaoShuai even canceled his 3rd hatch. I think, you know, it makes sense right now. He's playing on the back foot, so this is really hard to beat. Honestly, though, you know, XiaoShuai didn't even do a drone scout. I just have a feeling like there was something planned about this, like, as we said, and he didn't drone scout either. It was very weird, so I feel like Zhanhun really just checking XiaoShuai and saying, man, you better drone scout me next time.
Oh, wow.
And
GG.
There's a GG, yeah.
All right, well, that was quick. I did notice that XiaoShuai had upgraded speed, so I thought we were going to get into like a base trade scenario, 10 Lings with speed across the map versus, what was it, 7 Zealots sunken. I don't know. I don't think there's any chance of XiaoShuai holding it, but that's one way to strike back in game 4 and say, dude, you can't overpool 4 Lings every single game, not scout. You're going to get punished, and that was a good punish from Zhanhun.
Yeah, definitely mind games, though. I really would love to know, like, when he scouted top middle, if the Overlord did come over there on the first scout. There's no way he would have done the 2 gate. There's just no way, because like at this level, these Zergs, like, if they scout it quickly, they know how to beat it down pretty fast, I feel. So yeah, just worked out for Zhanhun's favor, and now we're going series tied 2-2 and going into the final game, which will be on retro.
Indeed, both series have gone the distance here. Match point for both sides, like you're saying. I also don't think he would have 2-gated, because we saw many in ASL try and 2-gate Sulky, and it got scouted initially, and he even knew Zerg was at bottom right, and I was sitting there thinking, like, dude, there's a reason people don't 2-gate, because it gets slammed really easily, and well, Sulky bashed it like it was nothing. So it was a good scout from Zhanhun. I wonder how it would have worked out if it was crossed. That's kind of what I was wondering, like, because he was a 50-50 shot that Zerg was bottom right? But hey, luck was on Zhanhun's side that time. This is the final game of the day. Who's going to make it out into the next round of the losers bracket? Will be XiaoShuai or Zhanhun.
Yeah, and coming off a game like that, you just sort of, I don't know, feel like Zhanhun might have a little bit of momentum. You know, when that sort of stuff works out, you just carry this momentum with you. And, you know, as XiaoShuai, maybe you don't feel as confident for some reason. I don't know. I feel like some of these things go into effect when you start looking into the final match of the series, you know?
Yep, and we do have our Protoss in the top left, and we do have Zerg in the bottom right. So once again, it's another cross spawn scenario. And okay, Probe is hanging around. So once again, it's going to be another 9-gate from him.
9-gate, yep, same. And then are we going to see another overpool out of XiaoShuai? Final game, will they just play standard? Will they just, you know? Last game was kind of, you know, an all-in sort of thing.
I would just overpool again, because I don't think this guy's going to 2-gate me again. And if he goes 12 Nexus, well, okay, good for you. You went 12 Nexus in game 5, and you lucked out. I would say, yeah.
Was it 9 pool?
No, it's overpool again.
It's over.
Yeah,
okay.
So same build, literally every single game. It was even, I think every single game was also the 250 gas. I mean, maybe not in last game, because I didn't actually see it. But yeah, everything looks just identical to what we've been seeing. Once again, there was that middle scout to see if the Overlord was coming from top right. Didn't see it, so now he goes bottom left. And he will now know Zerg is cross spawn, most likely.
Man, small point, but the optimization from XiaoShuai, man, his hatchery went down at 158, I believe it was. That's pretty fast, man. Like 202 to 205 is like the normal hatchery timing when overpool. So, I mean, he didn't drone scout, but still, man, these guys are really, that's pretty optimized.
Yep, every second matters. That means that you have faster larvae. You're able to deal with harassment that much faster. If you got a panic, put down a sunken, your creep is more readily available. And Probe is going to try and deny this third base, but I don't think it's going to happen. And there you go. He's going to at least know where the hatch is. And once again, Zealot sees the Lings, they high five, and they just walk right on by.
He's holding the larva. Okay, but Lings. It's Lings. There's more Lings behind it, so interesting.
I think he was waiting to see if Protoss was going to commit. And then he thought he was, and actually Protoss turned around. So this was a good move from Zhanhun. He forces out 2 more sets of Lings that Zerg doesn't really want. Now he's kind of just hiding out in the darkness. Oh, is this going to be a Ling? I was going to say this is going to be a Ling all-in because this is a lot of Lings, but he doesn't have the gas for the speed upgrade just yet, but it could be.
I think it is a Ling all-in, man, because he blocked in and he's hiding all the additional Lings in the base. He's probably going to get gas once he hits the 100. Oh, but he did. Oh, he just showcased. He showcased the additional 4, but it's not that suspicious. I mean, it's only just showing 6 Lings. So I don't think Zhanhun will know, but this is a very clear Ling all in. 9 drones still.
Oh, well, now he knows. There's Lings being built at the Netra, and there's more being rallied down here. That's clearly a mistake. I don't. What is XiaoShuai looking at? Like, he's not microing versus Zealots. Does he really just have his rally point set there? That seems like a pretty big blunder, at this level of play. And the probe comes in and sees more Lings. Okay, well, this game's going to end one way or the other. It's going to end really quickly. Cannon's not done just yet, but I feel like there's enough Zealots here to buy enough time, and Zealot Cannon is going to dish out so much damage onto these Lings. I don't think he's getting through here, man. Well, if his Zealots are this far forward, they might.
I think Zhanhun should be fine. But a couple Lings sneak inside and aim the cannon down. Will he get that first cannon? That would be huge.
Oh, the probe trying to hold the line. The cannon's going to die. How does the cannon die? But there's so many Zealots left over, and there's not that many Lings. Well, I guess for now there's not that many Lings. Okay, that's another cannon. I didn't know what that building was. So if that cannon completes, I think this is over. I think Zhanhun's done it, but if he can kill this gateway and get through these Zealots fast enough, maybe he can get through. Oh, there was a slight gap on the left side. Lings are in. Probes need to be pulled. And that was a good surround on the cannon by both sides. The cannon to 8 health. Are you serious? And he just GG's.
Wow, GG. Yeah, that was like, it was like the 8 HP or less. Yeah, it was 1 hit or 2 hits away, man. Wow. And like if that cannon goes down and then you rally the next set of, Lings off a 3 hatch, who knows, man, especially with the gate dead. So that was like pretty close in the end.
Yeah, I mean, I think the idea was good, but why was that rally point set there, man? I mean, even I know that Lings are coming at that point. Like, it really felt like he must have misclicked it at some point, because and the Lings were slow. Like, it's different if maybe you miss rally and they're speed Lings and you can't select it with your mouse in time, but they were slow Lings. Why were they rallied there?
Yeah, and then I thought it was a bit of a blunder because he was hiding most of the Lings inside the main to prevent him from knowing, and he blocked his ramp. But then, like, 6 Lings spawned at the Nat. I don't think that was part of the plan, because that didn't make sense, right? Because then Zhanhun knew right away that it's a Ling all-in.
I did notice that there was a gap on the ramp. Like, the Lings were on hold position, but there was that tiny gap that let Lings in. So he may have thought that I've got my rally point set here, but it doesn't matter because the Lings can't get down anyways, and the Lings that are morphing out of the natural will kill this probe. But yeah, that was it was still close. It almost worked, but in the end, this all-in did backfire for XiaoShuai. He looked really strong all day long. I really had high hopes after game one. When I saw game one, I was like, oh my god, he's going to blow this guy out of the water. But Zhanhun recovered quite nicely with his 12 Nexus, his 2 gate, and now his just normal hold. But that does set us up for now a situation where there are 0 Zergs remaining. Absolutely none. We've got a PvP in the semifinals, Zhanhun versus Bonneth. And then in the winner's bracket, we've got Mihu versus Dawid once again. Someone pointed out to me the other day, I had mentioned that isn't Gypsy the only one that's beaten Mihu? But in fact, Ziki has beaten Mihu. Dawid is another player that's beaten Mihu. So there is potential here where actually Mihu could get taken down for the first time in a long time. But he's so good, man. And his TVP is 90% win rate in BSL.
Yeah, I mean, but if anyone's gonna do it this time around, Dawid could be the man. Dawid's PBT is amazing, and I see Dawid even going toe to toe against some of the amateur Terrans, and I've seen Dawid take games off a scan. Dawid, if anyone can do it, I think Dawid can do it. So it's gonna be a really good series. Might go all 7 games potentially even.
Yeah, and regardless of how the bracket unfolds, we've got interesting dynamics. If Zhanhun makes it out, that means he's either facing Mihu or Dawid. Mihu versus Zhanhun, Chinese versus Chinese. Zhanhun versus Dawid, it's a rematch from the winner's bracket. If Bonneth makes it out, he's facing potentially Mihu again. Or he's facing Dawid, which they seem to always hit each other, right? So that's crazy. And then whoever comes out of the bottom side, I mean, we could have Mihu versus Dawid twice in the winner bracket finals and then in the grand finals, which is just absurd. So lots of interesting matchups. I'm looking forward to it regardless of who wins either side. But that's it today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We had some connection issues, but we got through it. And of course, we need to thank our supporters of the BSL, which is Esports Fund, the main sponsor, and also all of you Patreon supporters out there. Thank you for supporting the BSL. At the $100 level, we have My Fleeting Dream, Striker, and Misters at the $50 level. $30 level, we got Tim, Cuz, Tupacalypse, Voltina Bulai. $20 level, Scheming Gypsy, Yu Zhang, Medino, Stephen Robertson, Gordon Bradley, KJ Streaming Channel, Daniel Lopez, LML, and Nicholas Schuler, and all you other Patreon supporters. Thank you so much for the continued support. And as I always state, $10 or above Patreon support means you get all the replays of BSL, so definitely consider that if you want to improve your play. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. SuGo, it was a pleasure to cast with you. I think it was the first time we casted together. You have any final words before we go off?
No, it was a great time. Yeah, first time we've casted. First time I've casted in BSL. It was really fun, man, and hope to be back here again. And looking forward to the rest of the tournament. So thanks everyone, and have a really good day.
Yep, thank you guys, and I look forward to seeing you next week to finish out BSL. Take care.
Is the name of the dance we do down Johannesburg way. Is the name of the dance we do down Johannesburg way. of a dance.